Wow. Is this thing on? Is this thing on? What is up, everybody? It's your girl Jada Reese here, aka Diamond, and today is actually December the 17th, and I actually felt like bringing my camera out with me and vlogging. So it's currently 8:15 in the morning. I just dropped Autumn off at school because she's back at school doing great. She's doing great. And even though I did comment, I replied to every comment, I just also want to say thank you so much for all of your warm, beautiful messages. You know, telling me to keep going, telling me that I'm a great mother, telling me that everything will be okay. I just really, you guys don't know. Probably the day after posting that video and subsequently a few days later, I couldn't go on to that channel, to my YouTube studio, and read the comments and respond, because every time I would read one, it would literally make me start bawling. Like, the tears would be in overflow. So I just want to say thank you to all of you guys. This is like booktube, my booktube, because my booktube is my booktube, and I don't know anybody else's booktube experience, but my booktube experience over this past year, 2024, has been amazing. Honestly, life-changing for me in so many ways, so many aspects. I've committed to the channel. I have not posted every week of 2024, but I've posted and posted and posted and read and gained a following and community, and I'm just so grateful to all of you guys. I really, truly am. Thank you. Thank you. I can't say thank you enough. You guys just don't understand. I don't know any other place like this, you know. I don't. There's no other part of the YouTube community that's like this. I'd say, because I just don't be over there on those sides. But anyways, I just want to say thank you once again. So today is a Tuesday, and I'm off work today. It's a random day that I have off, and that is exactly what I mean. My work schedule is so jacked up. It's almost just like I work until I can't work anymore, and I say, hey, I'm gonna be off today. That's literally what happens. So it just so happens that I'm off today. And I'm gonna go take care of myself, which I've been working out frequently, even though I work. I've been going to the gym after work. But we're gonna go to the gym this morning. So, but first, we're headed to get a cup of coffee. We're gonna sit and drink that cup of coffee. And we're gonna read a little bit of our book. So this is what I'm currently reading. It's called My Death by Lisa Tuttle, and it is a little tiny little thing. Honestly, you could have read this in one day, in about a couple of hours, but that's just not like how my life has been set up lately. So I'm just sneaking in a few pages here and there when I'm not doing other things and not focused on other things. So it'll probably take me a few days, but I just started reading it on yesterday. And it's been floating around the internet a little bit, but one of my favorite booktubers, Jess over at Sunbeams, Jess over in the UK, she spoke highly of this book recently, and it prompted me to pick it up. Because I made a few Amazon purchases, and I was like, let me just throw My Death in the cart also. And it just was sitting in the cart till I made the purchases and finalized the cart. Came in the mail, and I was like, oh, I totally forgot that this was in the cart. So this book follows, if I am not mistaken, I do not know the woman's name. She is definitely unnamed. She's an unnamed narrator. She's a writer. I don't know if it's kind of meta. I don't know anything about Lisa Tuttle, but the fact that she's a writer. But this is a book about writing. This is a book about an author. And the unnamed narrator is in, I think, her mid to late 50s. She has not been writing for years. She's never had like a super prominent voice in the literary world, but she has produced literature that has sold, but she hasn't like made a true mark in her opinion. And her husband just passed away, God rest his soul. And even though she has a home, a nice home to live in, it's paid off, she has exhausted all of her funds, all of her savings, and it's time for her to get back to work. And the only thing that she knows how to do is write. And that is her words and her words only. And so she's thinking of doing something totally different from what she's been doing, which she's been writing fiction and short stories. And she wants to write or dip her fingers into biographies. And so in thinking and doing this like little museum, I think she was at a museum walk or something like that, she stumbles upon an interesting piece of art that reminds her of, I think the book is called In Troy, or the art piece is called In Troy, and the book is called Isis or something. Girl, I'm so sorry, I don't know. But it prompted her to pull or think about the author of such the book. And how I can explain this, because this is very this is a very intriguing story. So the woman that she's about to do the biography on seems like she's been erased, practically erased or drowned out by history, by the men, the male figures around her time and the male figures in her life. So that's prompting our narrator to dig deeper into the author of one of her favorite books, to, I think, pull back layers of what her life was like and what she offered to the literary world. So it's kind of going to be like investigative journalism. You know, she's going to just dive deep into this, and hopefully what we come out with is the story of a magnificent woman who was hidden behind, or purposefully hidden by men in the industry. That's what I think that this is. And it's really interesting. For it to be so short, that's why I'm just over here I'm just like, what? Like, really? Because it's such a short book. And it seems like it's supposed to be longer because of all the information that I'm already getting. But I'm sure there's a method to Lisa Tuttle's madness. And I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna get to it, and I'm gonna see what's going on here. The writing is great. Honestly, that's all I have to really say about it. Like, great writing, great everything. I honestly might finish this book today. I don't know, because this is my only off day this week, because we're so busy at work. I really need to take time to deep clean my apartment. Of course, y'all know I'm about to get this coffee, sit here, talk, sit here, read, drink the coffee, go to the gym after this, go home, deep clean my apartment. I don't necessarily need to wash my hair. I just washed my hair, and I did a silk press on my hair, and it was beautiful for one day. I could have made it last, and I could have put more heat on it, but that's like defeating the purpose of having healthy hair. And the silk press is still silk pressing, as you guys, as my black girls can see. Like, there's no product or anything on my hair. I just pulled it up into a ponytail, and that's it. But I do want to go ahead and maybe do another style that'll last for longer, just because of my schedule. I just don't feel like having to get up in earlier than I should in the morning to do something or style my hair. It's just not my lifestyle right now. And it's getting cold, and sometimes you just want to roll out of bed, have your clothes ready, put them on, and get out the door. So I don't know. But all the things that I've decided to do today is that's gonna dictate if I can finish this today and wrap this video up. All right, so I'm irritated for 2 reasons. Okay, reason 1 being, I don't know, the energy, and where I'm at is called JoJo's Espresso. I don't think I'm gonna come back. I don't think I'm gonna come back to JoJo's Espresso, okay? That's where I'm at. For 1, they don't have the almond milk option. For 2, it's always so freaking cramped in there that there's nowhere to sit for real. One thing that I cannot stand about these like little pop-up shops is when they decide to get one thing I can't stand is when they decide to get these little bitty ass stores. And you can correct me if I'm being like wrong or whatever, but at this point I don't give a damn. But they get these little bitty shops. There's literally nowhere to sit. Everyone is on top of each other. And it's just like they want to hide it under the guise of being like niche or whatever the case may be, when really it's like you're not being, I don't even want to, it's making assumptions because I have no basis for what I'm about to say right now, but it's no secret that I live in the South. If you can't tell by my accent, you're a new person here. I live in the South. I would say Memphis, Tennessee is not technically considered the Deep South. People don't look at it like it's the Deep South. But it is. We're just more of one of the bigger cities. We're bigger than Nashville. We're the biggest city. We're the biggest city in Tennessee. So, you know, they like to think we're a little metropolitan or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, we're still in the Deep South. You know, depending on which way you go, we're like 15 to 30 minutes from parts of Mississippi that still have cotton fields. Like you can go right outside of Memphis and see yards and yards and acres and acres and acres of cotton. So this is the Deep South. And so certain places that I frequent have a better energy one day than the next. And so what happens is you forget where you are. But then on days like today, I'm kind of reminded, you know, that I am an outlier in my city. Meaning I don't go to all the places that my community goes to. I don't do all of those things that people in my community do. I'm very different from the quote unquote in crowd here. And so I'm kind of reminded when I decide to go and give my money and patron some of these establishments.
Please fasten driver seat belt.
Are majority of the races than I am. And you feel it. And today was one of those days where I felt it. And I hope I put that as politically correct as I tried to, because I'm trying to just use words other than the main words that we use when we feel like we are not wanted in a specific space. Which I don't know why I'm even being nice like that, but it's JoJo's Espresso, and today is going to be my last day there, going there, and it's right down the street from my house. So, and my coffee isn't even good. They're even trying to make my coffee niche. I'm just not a huge oat milk fan. Like, why don't y'all have? What's wrong with? What is your beef? What is your beef with almond milk? What is the beef, baby? What is the beef? I thought I was about to sit down, have a nice 30-minute read of my book so that I can talk to y'all more about this amazing little thing. But no. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to sit at my gym, which I love my gym. I go to the YMCA. If you don't have a membership at the YMCA, what are you doing? You know what I mean? It's like the best place ever. It really is. It's community. It's safe. It feels like you're going to a club, like, you know, a sports club or something. The same people frequent there. These absolute same. There's never anybody new at the YMCA. Once you become a member and you go frequently, there's never anybody new. So it's like family. And I mean, it's not disgusting. Last time I was there, I had the bourbon mocha, and it did taste better. There was stronger flavors that would like hide the disguise of the milk. This just tastes like milk. I ought to dispute this purchase. That's what I ought to do, and just go take my ass to Starbucks. But I'm trying to support the small dogs, and no, not anymore. All right, I'll come back when I got some more to say, because now I'm going into dreamland. I'm just sat home. Just did a little bit of Christmas shopping. First of all, I went to work today. So I worked today from 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. Left there, went to some shops, grabbed a couple of Christmas gifts. Not too much. I definitely wanted to like get some things before the sun started to go down, because I also need to go to the grocery store, because I don't like being out during this time of year when it's dark outside. So I only grabbed a couple of things, and then I went to the grocery, grabbed a couple of items to like make me a simple little meal. Actually, it wasn't a meal. I actually made bagels. So I did everything bagel with onion and chive, or sour cream, something and chive, Philadelphia cream cheese with smoked salmon, onions, the whole enchilada. And I had that with tomato and olives. So that's just what I decided to eat tonight. Just something light and refreshing, and so good. I might even eat another bagel, just the bagel with the cream cheese. I don't know, but I haven't been really in the mood for like a full course meal, you know, like some type of starch, some type of other greens type of veggie, and a meat with bread and all this stuff. I don't know, I just haven't been in the mood to eat things like that, the typical dinner that you would eat. So yeah, I'm sat on the couch and I was watching The Apartment, which is a Billy Wilder film or adaptation. It's the film adapted from the Billy Wilder play, starring Shirley MacLaine and Jack Lemmon. And I love this movie. It is so delightful. It is so good. It is so sweet, endearing, heartwarming. And it tackled a lot of serious, for it to have such a serious undertone and storyline, it still is just so sweet. And that's something that the movies back in those times were really able to capture. I don't know exactly when this film was made, probably like 1961 or 62 or something like that, but yeah, I have just about 9 minutes left. I started it last night and then I fell asleep, so yeah. Anyway, I actually just felt like talking to the camera. I just wanted to update you guys about what I'm doing right now. Yeah, so the last time I spoke to you guys, I had begun reading My Death by Lisa Tuttle. And I'm just on page 37. But one thing I think I can automatically tell, or I automatically could tell, was I think I was like interested to see where the story was going to go based on how short it was. Like, this is a tiny novel, just over 100 pages, 106 pages. And I was like interested to see like, how much can she pack into this novel for it to be so short? And for me to be on page 37, it feels like I'm on page 207. You know, like it literally, so much has been discussed in such a short period of time. And I've been taken already on a ride where I got off the last clip. If I insert that clip, I hadn't read since that day. And I think that was Friday. That was Friday. Today is Sunday. So, or was that? No, that wasn't Friday. That was Wednesday. I haven't opened this book since Wednesday. And today's Saturday. And it's really great. So if I could just give you guys a synopsis of what's going on and like my feelings or whatever. So we have this unnamed narrator who is, of course, I think I mentioned, a former writer. She's just been recently widowed. She lives on the outskirts of Glasgow, somewhere in Ireland. Or is it it's either Ireland or I don't know why I'm thinking of Edinburgh. Is that in Scotland? So she's either in Ireland or she's in Scotland and on the outskirts. And she's recently, like I said, widowed. She wasn't rich by all means, but they had a comfortable life, her and her husband, meaning they had everything that they needed and they had rationed out, or they had thought about how they could make life work for them outside of the city. And so they bought a cottage style home and moved out to the country. And she's thinking now, like, okay, my husband has gone and passed, so now it's just me. What am I to do? And so the only thing that I know to do is to write. And so she's considering all of the options that she has within the literary world, even though she was not like a bestseller, you know what I mean, like a world-renowned writer. The things that she did produce did sell, but they were not produced again. So there was no second edition. There were no reprints. And so she kind of faded to the background. And so she still is great friends with her publicist. I think that's what you call them. And she's just like meeting up with him because he came down for her husband's funeral. And she's introducing this idea of writing a biography. And it just came to her one day. I'm going to write a biography on this woman named Helen Ralston. Is that her name? Helen Ralston. Yeah, Helen Ralston. And she is the writer of this book called In Troy. or some other, I think it's called in Troy. And so how it is told is you get a brief history of who the unnamed narrator is, and then you get kind of like her in a daydream in an art museum, and she comes across one of Helen's art pieces, or one of Helen's lovers' art pieces, and that gets her to thinking about Helen as a person and as a writer. And then she was also an artist, and she starts to ponder and wonder, like, why hasn't anybody dug up or did any writing on Helen? Because she's a phenomenal artist, she's a phenomenal writer. I think that that's something that I want to do, because I distinctly remember being in college, reading Helen's work and being spellbound. So I'm going to do that. And then she introduces this idea, like I said, to her agent, not a publicist, her literary agent. And there, so it goes. And then the literary agent takes her on this like ride to his friend's home, who actually had a physical copy of one of Helen's rare pieces that she had done. And then lo and behold, he shows her the piece, and it is something that that the unnamed narrator did not think that Helen was ever capable of doing. And it is described as, her feelings and emotions from seeing this art piece of one of her favorite authors, like takes her back. She like gasps. She kind of gets prudish about it. She kind of has these like cringy sort of feelings regarding what it is that she's looking at. And it describes these emotions are described so well. I'm going to find the portion. Alright, so here's the portion of when she finally gets upstairs to see the piece. I have to watch out for Sylvester, the new cat. He loves to scratch, and I have to get him one of those like scratch poles or whatever you call it. I have to get him one because he is not about to mess up my couch. Alright. Then there was a click from the hall below, and the shaded bulb above my head blazed, illuminating the picture. I gazed at the painted image of an island, a rocky island, rendered loosely in shades of brown and green and gray and grayish pink. I remained unimpressed and baffled by Alistair's attitude towards this uninspired daub, risky. And then, all at once, as if another light had been switched on, I saw the hidden picture. Within the contours of the island was a woman, naked, on her back, her knees up and legs splayed open, her face hidden by a forearm, flung across it, and by the long hair, greenish-grayish, that flowed around her like the sea. The center of the painting, what drew the eye and commanded the attention, was a woman's vulva. All the life of the painting was concentrated there. A splash of pink, startling against the mossy greens and browns, seemed to touch a nerve in my own growing. One immediate furious thought rose in my mind. How could she expose herself like that? Somehow I knew this was a self-portrait, that the artist would not have exploited another woman in this way. Yet, she had not flinched from depicting herself as naked, passive, open, sexually receptive, no, sexually voracious, demanding to be looked at, to be taken, explored, used, filled. Well, why not? I was all in favor of female autonomy. Well, why not? I was all in favor of female autonomy. The freedom of women to act out of their own desires, whatever they were. After all, I still called myself a feminist, and I had come of age during the 60s, a member of the post-pill, pre-AIDS, sexually liberated generation who believed in letting it all hang out, and a woman's right to choose. And yet, Whatever theory I held, the sight of this picture made me cringe, away in revulsion, even fear, as if this was something I should not have seen, something that should not have been revealed. It was deeper than reason. I simply felt there was something wrong and dangerous in this painting. Then, like a cloud passing across the sun, the atmosphere changed again. Outlines blurred, colors became drab, and abruptly the painting was only the depiction of an island in the sea. And that, my friends, was on page 28. That is what I'm saying or the feelings that I'm getting from reading this book. It's great. It's great. It's great. It makes you ask so many different questions in your mind about what your feelings should be when you view and see things, especially from the viewpoint of a fan. And then you are given, or your eyes are feasted upon something that seems like it's not for you, or like you shouldn't have, and then you all of a sudden have a complete switch. A switch goes off in your brain, or you become kind of sort of two-faced and you have other feelings, and then you're forced to reckon with those feelings, or you're forced to kind of reckon with your ideology, and you have to consider and think, have I been faking this whole time? Do I think I'm one way and I'm actually another? Am I contradictory? Life is one great big contradiction, so why can't I change my mind all of a sudden? But this woman is my favorite author at the same time, or simultaneously. So it's just like these human emotions. To read them is very interesting. And so now I'm on the part where after that scene, we get a little bit more of the friend Alistair and Selwyn. Selwyn is the unnamed narrator's publicist. Why do I keep calling him a publicist? He's her agent, and they're at Alistair's house, which is Selwyn's friend, who is in possession of Helen Ralston's self-portrait that I just read you guys up. So that's where we are, and then we leave off of that, and then we kind of go into learning more about who Helen was as a person. And so that's where I stopped. I learned about Helen and this years-long affair that she had with her professor, and how she kind of like got into this like art scene, and then I just stopped, and I hadn't opened it back up since Wednesday. But I've been carrying it in my bag every day, because in hopes of sitting down and having time to read it. But I've had, as per usual these days, so many things going on. So it's 6:39 right now, so I'm going to give myself a couple of hours to try to finish this book tonight. I'm going to read until 9 o'clock in hopes that I come to you guys, 1, well rested, and also 2, ready to finish up talking about this magnificent book. And so it is December 21st. I've already done my top 10 books of the year. I'm not expecting this to be a top 10, but hey, who knows? And I'm also reading via audiobook All Fours by Miranda July. That is a whole nother story in and of itself that I can't even bring myself to discuss. I've written a couple of journal entries about All Fours already, but see, it's easy to dip and dab into that because I could just chunk an AirPod on and play 45 minutes of it, no problem, while I'm folding clothes or doing this or doing that. So it's giving me a totally different experience, and I have to say that I absolutely love the audiobook. It is read by Miranda July, and what better way to get an author's work if not by listening to them read it for themselves? So you're able to get all of the jokes and all of the nuance of each character, all of the layers. They're being conveyed to you in the proper way because the reader is also the writer. So yeah, it's very interesting, but too much is going on in that book to actually truly discuss. So I'm gonna leave that there, we'll leave All Fours for another time. It is, just like people were saying, it's completely different from what I was expecting, but I do like it. And it's another one of those unlike anything I've ever read before. So I'm just trying to figure out what the author's purpose is in All Fours and understand who Miranda is as a person. So I'm probably not gonna read for the entire 2 hours and 20 minutes. I'm probably gonna go now and find a interview of some sort, or an author's talk that Miranda July has possibly done in the past. And yeah, I'm going to watch something, so just so I can figure out who she is. You know what I mean? But I do like All Fours. It's good. It's pretty good. It's a decent book. It's a very interesting book. So yeah. So I'm gonna finish my 9 minutes of The Apartment, even though I know exactly what's about to happen. And then I'm gonna go in my room, finish my death, and we'll watch a video of Miranda July, and then finish my death. And then I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Alright. Guys, never have I ever read a book like this. Okay? This is me coming to you guys. Oh my goodness. This is about a month later from that last clip. And I actually just finished this book a couple of hours ago. So I was like, I might as well come and finish the video because I had so much to say earlier and I kind of liked the vibe of the video. So I said, I'm going to finish this book. I didn't say that, but I'm saying I finished the book, and then I thought I have so much footage regarding, or it's kind of centered around doing like a little quick vlog about my death. So I might as well just come present day and just talk to you guys about my death by Lisa Tuttle. Mind you, I finished All Fours a month ago. Now the funniest thing is that I finished All Fours the next day from the last clip when I had on my cheetah print pajamas. I finished it the next day, and subsequently I kind of fell into like a little slump, and I let this linger, and I finished a couple of other books. Oh, okay. I wouldn't even say I fell into a slump. I just didn't finish this for some reason, and it was great. It had me hooked from the first page, but I don't know. I just started getting interested in other things, and then also, when the library books start to like come, it's so funny how they release. I have been on hold for so many novels, and then they all started to release at the same time, and so I started to more so prioritize those over what I had in my own physical collection. And so not a slump. I don't even know why I said slump. A slump of this book. But anyway, My Death by Lisa Tuttle was great. Unsettling book. I kind of already talked to you guys about what it is about. But it's also, since I wrapped the book up, it's kind of hard to discuss what it is that I just read, just like All Fours by Miranda July. I don't know. I don't know how to explain this book. I don't know how to really, I don't even know what to give you except for my feelings on it. It's one of those novels where as you're reading it, you start to think to yourself, am I reading what I'm reading? Almost sort of in the same vein as the author, or what the author is experiencing in the novel, because she's an author. Lisa Tuttle is writing about an author, writing about another author. And so it's kind of like this illusion. This book kind of gives Shutter Island vibes, kind of gives single white female vibes. It gives those sort of mysterious, it's a very mysterious but not a horrifying novel, but there are some elements that will make you kind of like jump if you're reading it at night by yourself. So it's kind of categorized as a horror, but it's really not. It's more of a mystery, very intriguing, very enticing type of book. It's very evocative. You kind of seemingly feel like you are like being drawn into the novel, like you're there. The way that Lisa Tuttle writes makes me really feel like I'm like in the present with these characters, and I'm experiencing exactly what they're experiencing. And so those are the books that really draw me in, and this really drew me in. I can't believe I've waited this long to finish it. because I knew where it was headed when I was already reading it in December. But yeah, this was great. I actually recommend this. I highly recommend this. It would probably be in my second command of favorite books if I were to have finished it in 2024, but I didn't. I finished it in 2025. So, hey, it is what it is with that. But I liked it. I think that if you are interested in something very unique, very different, completely outside the box, unlike anything I've ever read before, that kind of challenges your views and your mindset and your thinking, I think you should pick this up. I think it was great. It's a great read. So yeah, that's that with this. I have a lot to say, but I'm not going to say it because this is the end of a video that I started previously, but we're going to start a new video after this. I'm going to do December wrap up along with my January wrap up, which is coming soon as well, because we're at the end, mid to the end of January. And we're going to just be talking more about books, you guys. I'm really excited. I had to just kind of take some time for myself and just recalibrate, reimagine what I want this channel to look like. As I stated in the sort of update that I did on my community tab, I'm just trying to really think through some things and gain more perspective on my personal life before I can come and fully devote myself back to the channel like I was, because my life is completely different in so many aspects. So it just takes some time to really get things together, and I'm not for rushing. I don't feel like I'm being left out or I'm missing anything. My pace is my pace, and so I'm just slowly re-ingratiating myself with YouTube, with my channel, with the type of content that I want to produce, with the certain sides or aspects of my personality that I want to give, because there's so many different facets, and I just don't know which parts that I want to share anymore, because just the world is just changing in general. So with that, I'm just wanting to wrap this video up and just kind of sort of rethink through what I want to give you guys moving forward. So thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, like the video, comment, and I'll see you guys in the next upload. Deuces.